if you know how to tell a story, if you're a filmmaker, you have a huge medium at your disposal.
But as an actor, you just bring your own interpretation in sync with the director's vision.
Welcome to Box Office India.
Thank you.
Okay. We have seen the trailer of your film, a beautiful bond, a beautiful relationship of a brother and a sister. It is getting a great response. Congratulations for your upcoming film.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, how did the idea of this story of this Jhalki came out?
We were aware of the human trafficking and child labor scenario and a lot of work that Mr. Tannishtha Chatterjee was doing, and that's when we thought that a film on this subject will go a long way to propagate awareness and help address the cause. So that's when initially Prakash and I wrote the story together. Then through lots of ups and downs, finally the film got made last year, and we went and shot in the most authentic place where a lot of carpet weaving factories exist, and we made sure that the story is an entertaining, interesting one for people to see. So that's been the in very brief development of from the idea to the film, and these are the two actors who featured in the film. But the film essentially is that of a girl's search, a 9-year-old girl's search for a 7-year-old brother, with the backdrop of human trafficking and child labor.
This is your first film as a director. What was it about the story that caught your attention?
I would say any story that touches people, brings about a change, creates awareness. If you know how to tell a story, if you're a filmmaker, you have a huge medium at your disposal. So that was probably the drive. I have done other films, I've done many documentaries before this. So this was the first feature film, but it's just a coincidence that it happened now. It could have happened earlier, and so I think that's how I see it as an opportunity to tell a story, create awareness, manifest some change and impact in the subject, in the theme that we deal with.
Can you shed some light about your character? Why did you selected it?
Well, I mean, because the script and also, you know, I like Brahmanand's work, and all the people who are associated with the film. I play a journalist in the film, and she is instrumental and she facilitates Jhalki, who's the main protagonist, the 9-year-old girl, you know, her journey in search of her brother. So she helps her search, you know, her search for him, and then she also exposes the people who are behind this nexus. So she has, I mean, my character has a very strong presence, and it's a very key character because, yeah, it facilitates and culminates the journey of, you know, the main protagonist in her search.
About your character in the film?
One is a part of a story, and my character comes at a point where this young girl who's 9-year-old looking for her brother, who's a victim of child trafficking and child labor. He's a big officer. He plays a DC of his area, and so he has the powers. He can call the shots, and so this girl, when she comes to him, and whatever happens, that's in the story. But this character is essentially, he's an officer. He is extremely busy. He's extremely clinical about things, and he, although he's sensitive, but I think the workload and the world he lives in, he doesn't really connect with that human emotion immediately, but along the journey he does. He's well-meaning, but I think he's the system, and he's sort of burdened with the system as well. So shades of grey, if you can call it, it's not black and white, very realistic, and towards the end, yes, well-meaning as well.
How did you prepare for this role? What references did you took?
There was no need for any reference actually. The role was the script was well written, and it's very precise positioning of each character in the film. If you have some general knowledge and some common sense, any able actor could play that. And so there was no rocket science to that. I had to go and live with somebody to understand the character. But as an actor, you just bring your own interpretation in sync with the director's vision. And within that space, if there is anything to kind of, value add, you just do that as an actor. It could come across very harsh. At the same time, if there is a certain softness, a humanitarian approach, that can be brought in. A little humor one tried to bring in with the behavior, etc. So that was needed, and I think my director was, he did okay to one take, so I said, okay, everything's good.
So I think like I always interpret his character as the system, and the question is, does system have a soul? Okay, it's very clinical, like I said. So does system have a soul? Because that's when things would change. The bottom line is, people make systems, and then systems make people. So it's a very catch-22. But I think that's what even the film tries to capture, that at some point of time when he takes it as his personal responsibility, things start changing with everyone. So it's a very interesting character, I would say.
What was the audition procedure of kids? What were your requirements like?
So we had a certain language predominance in the film. It should be the Bihari kind of language, the Bhojpuri twang. So we tried to send our casting director into that zone, where if we have someone who has the language ability naturally, then we can concentrate on their acting quality. On the other hand, if we get someone with already well-equipped acting quality, then we'll concentrate on the language quality. But here it happened very interesting that those things didn't work out that much, in the sense that we had shortlisted over 150 in the first round, but it went on, we went on narrowing down. Finally, the one that played Jhalki, that got selected to play Jhalki, was discovered in a park from an NGO, who was there as part of the underprivileged children who gets education. And even when we've had the final shortlisted 8 people, this girl that you see today as Jhalki was 3rd, 4th in her priority list for us. But as that three-week workshop went on progressing, we found that she has the fire, she has the poise, she has the ability to sustain, and so many factors, which we were looking for Jhalki, and that's how she got selected, and she has done a wonderful job thereafter in 48 degrees Celsius for a 6-week kind of a schedule. So it was quite commendable.
Yes, both child actors are phenomenal. They have carried the film, and the girl and the boy, fantastic. And in fact, for the boy, it's not a very dialogue-heavy film also, and how he's expressed.
Yeah.
There's one particular scene, it's like, wow, it's like, hats off to him. This is when he has to confront and say whether he recognizes his sister or not.
Yes.
It's fantastic how he's done.
Beautifully done. If you tell a story well, it always connects. Whether you're telling it to your child, putting her to sleep, or you're telling it on a film.
Hi, this is Sanjay Suri, and you're watching me on Box Office India. Please do like, share, and subscribe.